Greetings, Internet. This is I, your host, Mr. G63, and today we are going to be looking at electricity for intermediates. And with us today, we are going to be looking at electric doors, well, powered doors, and all the various ways you can trigger them. We're also going to be looking at how you can be using tripwires, trigger plates, and motion detectors. So, without further ado, let us begin. So, the first thing you'll notice is that I've got a series of doors and drawbridges set up right here. Now, the big difference between these guys and these ones are that these ones are unpowered, which means I can go up to this drawbridge and actually manually activate it. Same goes for the vault door and the electric the garage door and the little vault door as well. Now, if I go over to these guys, as you can see, there's no way for me to interact with the door or the vault door or the drawbridge. That is because these are the powered versions. So if we go over to our crafting and you type in drawbridge, you can see there are two specific drawbridges. There are the reinforced drawbridge and the powered drawbridge. The main difference is that the powered ones do require slightly more resources than the unpowered versions, so always keep this in mind. Now, you might be wondering, how do we power these things up? So, of course, as per usual, you need to have your little generator base going on over here. And then what we can do is we just hook up the power to the gate and switch it on. Abracadabra, all the gates are open. Now, as you can imagine, this might not be the best thing to do, especially when you're dealing with some unwanted zombies. So, how are we going to sort this out? Well, what we do is we look at the triggers. So let me quickly set up some triggers here so that we can delve into all of them. So, the first of the switches and triggers is, of course, the electric switch. Now, the electric switch is one of the most basic ways of activating your electronic devices. So, let's look how it works. First of all, you're going to need to get your little wire tool. So, let's quickly hook the generator up to the switch. There we go. Let's disconnect. There we go. So we've disconnected the drawbridge to the gate, to the generator. So we're going to take from the generator to the switch, and then from the switch to your gate. Okay. Let's try that again. There we go. Okay, so that's now connected. You can see there's that little wire clipping through the wall, going directly to the drawbridge. So what we do is we can go switch on the generator, and as you can see, nothing has happened. That is because if you look carefully over here, you can see the little red light is on. So what we do is we hit the switch, light turns green, and the drawbridge goes down. Pretty awesome, huh? There we go, and it's closed, and it's open, and it's closed. Okay, so that is the first of the switches. The next one, yes, so let's quickly take that. Now, the next one is, to me, a slightly more useful trigger, which is the trigger plates. So we have got two types of trigger plates. There we go. So we've got the 1x1 and the 1x5. Okay, so how these work is the same way as the switch. So you take from the generator to the trigger plate, from the trigger plate to the drawbridge. Now what happens here is if I walk over the trigger plate, boom, the doors open. Now here is the problem. As soon as I get off the trigger plate, the drawbridge closes. Now how we can sort this is that the trigger plate can actually be modified. So if I hold in E, go to the options, you'll see here's a power delay and there's a power duration. So the standard setting when you put it down is of course the instant power delay, and the power duration is for as long as it is triggered. So for example, if I want to sort of make this like a like a hidden trigger on my base, I can put a power delay on it. So for example, let's make it 5 seconds. Okay, so if I step on it, nothing happens. 3, 2, 1. There, the door opens. Okay, and it will only stay open for as long as I had it triggered. Okay, so it should be closing anytime. There we go, closed. Okay, so the other one is the power duration. So what I can do is I can say instant power and then have it open for 5 seconds. So what happens now is I can quickly run across, and in 5 seconds everything closes again. So this might be actually a very useful thing to have. For example, if you guys are like busy with a horde night and you need instant access to your base, or you need to get out quickly but you don't want to have to close the door behind you, then you can set this up in order to do exactly that. Now, one of the cool things about the trigger trap is that anything stepping on it will trigger it. Now you can use this to set up for your vehicles. For example, you can set it up to traps in case a zombie walks over it, etc. Basically, if anything moves, an animal, a zombie, a player, yourself, a vehicle, it will trigger these plates. The next little trigger that I like is the motion sensor. So this works exactly the same as like your trigger. So you will see that okay, so you can interact with your camera. You'll see here it has the same power delay and power duration as the normal triggers, but it also has the options. So for example, you can see there is target self, target allies, target strangers, or target zombies. Now the reason you might want to do this is, for example, you might connect this up to a series of turrets, whether you're playing PvE or PvP. Then you can actually set this to target zombies or to target strangers. So if people that are not part of your friends group gets caught by the camera, you can activate a surprise for them. So what's really neat about the camera is once you've hooked it up to power, you can actually make it look in a specific area in order to get triggered. So let me quickly show you how that works. So first thing, of course, that we're going to do is we're going to be hooking up the power to the camera. There we go. Now, if you look at the camera view, we can see we can move the camera around and we can then place it. So, for example, I want it to look over there. So, I hit E to exit. Now, I'm going to hook the camera up to the door. Boom. And as you can see, I stand by the camera and it cannot see me. So therefore, it's not going to open the doors. Now, if I go and I turn this around and I make it face me, it sees me and it opens the gates. Now the same thing goes if you hit it, and you can say power instant, duration say 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Everything is closed. Now this is actually quite nice if you want to do like a garage. So what you can do is you can have sort of like a camera on the outside looking towards the outside of the garage. You can then drive towards it and it will open for you. We will go into some more advanced wiring techniques. So for example, you can create a AND or an OR switch, depending on how you set up your cameras. So for example, you can have 2 cameras controlling one door, or you can have a situation where you need to have someone on both cameras in order to open the door, etc. Alright guys, so that is it for the doors and that. The next section we're going to be looking at is traps. So let's have a look at this. Before we continue, I have actually forgotten that we have got another little friend that we can look at. So for example, let's disconnect that. We have also got a timer. So if you look in your crafting, you can see there is a electric timer relay. Now what this does is this allows you to control power going to a certain area based on the current game time. So let's quickly show you how this works. For this demo, let's quickly grab a light bulb or 2. So one of those, now I've got one of those already. Let's grab one of these bad boys and these guys. All right, so now we're ready. So I'm gonna quickly put up the lights. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so there we go. Now we're going to hook up the relay. Let's put the relay right over here. And I think we might need to put in a normal relay just over here so that we can get the power to that side. So as per usual, we take our wiring tool, right click on the generator, right click on the wire relay, right click on the wire relay, and take it to the electric timer. From the electric timer to the light bulb. From the next one, let's daisy chain these. There we go. So now what we can do is when we interact with it, we can actually set the timer on the relay. So for example, we know that it starts getting dark at about 8 in the evening. So let's take this to 8 in the evening. There we go. And it's bright again by 4. There we go. Let's say 4:30. Okay, great stuff. So the lights are all off because it is 12 o'clock at night. So let's quickly look and see what happens when we speed up time. So as darkness arrives, you can see there's the lights come on. We are all nice and brightly lit. We can see exactly what is going on. It's 1 o'clock now, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and abracadabra, good night. So as you can see, we can actually set up this timer. The reason why you might want to do this is to basically save fuel. So the lights use electricity whilst you are, even if you're not in the area. So you want to make sure that you can actually monitor, or not monitor, but control when your lights come on. Because, for example, if it's nighttime and you're coming in on your gyrocopter, and you want some lights around your base so that you can see where you need to land. So by setting up your lights on a timer, you are then in that case actually saving power. Because, like, for example, now if we go to the Jenny, wait, let's quickly set our camera back. Okay, so if we head off to the Jenny, we can see that the generator is currently using only 2 watts of power. Now those 2 watts are the relay and the switch. Okay, so that's also just a way to, you know, be more efficient by using timers and things like that. Now we're going to be looking at interesting ways to use the triggers in order to activate traps. Alright guys, so here we are at Janky Base number 1, and as you can see, we've got a nice little platform over here for the zombies to come up on. We've got a trigger plate right over here, and we have a bunch of doors. Now, I can assure you these doors are not for decorative purposes. Let's quickly fly around the back and quickly show you what's what. So, as you can see over here, we have got a bunch of shotgun turrets lined up behind these doors. Now, what I've done so far is we have hooked up our generator bank to a relay. The relay goes all the way to the end over here to this relay. We're going to hook up this relay to the trigger. Boom. Then we're going to hook this trigger up again to this relay. Now what we're going to do is from the relays, we're just going to connect these relays together. And then we're going to hook up from the relays, we're going to hook up the door. Oops, there's the turret and the door. There we go. Had to clip in there. So let's quickly, now normally if you were playing this on vanilla, you'd be able to, there we go, that's hooked up properly. You'd be able to just jump around to the other side and connect it. So connect that. I just want to make sure. Yeah, there's the door. The door's connected. So connect the door. Connect the turret. And the last one. Connect the turret. And connect the door. There we go. So this is all set up. Our little Jenny over here is completely fueled. We can turn it on. And as you can see now, there is currently no power running through the relays except for the ones that are directly connected to the trigger as well as the trigger. So we're going to set up the trigger to say that the power delay is going to be instant, and let's keep the power duration for say 10 seconds. I think that should be enough. Now comes the fun part. Now what we're going to do is we're going to call in some of our dear friends. So Arlene, where are you? Come here, Arlene, all the Arlene. So here they are standing, looking at the tree. Funny tree. Alright, so I'm going to quickly come down here, run up here. We're going to say, come here, little girlies. So as I step over the trigger plate, as you can see, the doors open up wide. And when the zombies come, the doors, okay, there we go, trigger's open. And yeah, they get a little bit wasted. Oh, she got a click on me, and there we go. Good night, Eileen. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in your dreams. So it looks like the three of them got through, but that's not the end of the world. Ow. Go away. So, as you can see, there we go. We're causing the zombies to activate the traps for us. They are all using power until the 10 seconds is up. Once the 10 seconds is up, the power shuts down and we don't have to worry about it anymore. So as you can see, if you look at my little generator over here, we can see it's currently using 3 watts. Let's see. Let's quickly see if we can coax Mr. Oh, hello, little girl. Oh dear, a screamer. Whatever are we going to do? So I'm just gonna put that there, so she can't come bother us. Wait for her friends to come. Actually, no. Come here. There we go. Hello. Oh, we got 2 screamers. Okay, so there we go. The zombie steps on the trap. Now, what's cool is that if we look at the generator, okay, so we can see it's 3 watts now. Hello guys, this way. Okay, so as the zombies come, let's look at the Jenny. So it's 3 watts. Now it jumps up to 108 watts. So that's with all the traps and the doors activated. That is now, and now when the 10 seconds is over, the power drops to 3. The zombie steps on. It's 8 again. So this way you don't have to have your power running at all times, only when it's actually needed. And these shotgun turrets are really making short work of these Z's. Bye bye, Mr. Policeman. Here comes the lumberjack. Oh, and another little cool thing is that if you, for example, have got the advanced engineering all the way up to level 5, any kills done by your electric traps will actually give you an additional 50% XP. So, quite literally, you can turn your base, if you have enough electricity, into an AFK base, which is pretty awesome. So that is it from me, guys. I hope you guys learned a little bit from this tutorial. If you guys have any questions regarding some of the points that I've given in this tutorial, please don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. But for now, if you enjoyed this tutorial, hit that like, hit the subscribe for more entertainment from me Also, feel free to go have a look at some of my other videos that I've made for 7 Days to Die, and I will see you next week. Bye.